back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG, known as Fifi La Pew Pew to most players, but, well, no, to Arty players it's known as Fifi La Pew Pew. To other players it's known as a leFhy or a leaf, or they say some rude words about it. This one is on the west spawn of Sand River under the command of Geladen. Geladen sent us 2 replays featuring this Arty. It is one of only 2 premium SPGs in the game at the moment. But most people do have the Fifi or the Sexton 1. At least even if they're not an Arty player, because of course they like to experience what it's all about, even if they don't learn how to play it well. Geladen's taken it down into the riverbed, which is an unusual firing position, because you have to fire up over the walls if you want to get shots at the enemy. And he's now taking aim across the battlefield. It's 410 alpha on a 105mm gun with 53mm of penetration and a normal reload time of 8.92 seconds. Geladen's got it down to 7.85, which appears to be the minimum that you can get with this configuration. And he's also using binos as well, which increases the view range by 25%, and the view range on this Arty is already 390 meters, so you add 25% onto that, you've got a, well, over the maximum amount actually allowed, which is 450 meters. Well, that's the maximum draw distance. So it would eat into any camo that the enemy actually has. If there's any camo on some of these tanks, yeah, they're going to have a hard time. Now, I actually suppose that the reason it does have such a high view range on this Arty is because the actual gun is mounted very high up on top of a heavy tank, and therefore it's much higher above the ground, giving you a much better view range. Okay, we've got a budgie, a tier 6. That went right over the engine deck. It's a tier 6 game with tier 5, in fact tier 4 tanks in it. Oh, lovely hit there, 140, he's pulled back because he didn't like that. Let's see if we can do the same to this M6. Rounds out. Yep, hit the front, but didn't actually penetrate, just hit the armour. Probably damaged the tracks. Rounds out. Now, that one went behind him, but he didn't move, you noticed that? But he did hear that round coming in and probably felt the, got the warning. And so he's decided to bug out of there and he's off. Further along the riverbed we can see there's a Matilda. And up in the dunes we've got a KV-1. Now the KV-1 should be a fairly interesting target. He didn't fully dial in, but he did actually get a hit for 44. It went to the engine deck. He was aiming for the middle of the tank, but yep, RNG was kind to him there as well. 175 off that one. Okay, he fired snap there a bit because he got a bit of a reticule bloom, and we didn't see any damage because he pulled away before we saw what happened to the shell, because a lot of enemy have turned up nearby, and of course he has to focus on the north side. Oh, he hit the rear of that Stug high Aslains and took him out. Now the enemy's pushing in force, and this is going to cause problems for Geladen because he may be closer to that budgie than he actually wants to be. Okay, the budgie's rammed us, our teammate. Now, can he get a shot into that guy? He doesn't want to damage his teammate if he can help it. Rounds out. No, it landed on the ground nearby, but the budgie dies anyway. Now he can go for the M6. Remember, that thing is big, it's very weak on armour, except at the front. So if you can get a hit onto a target like that, you can do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, we did lose the VK, but he kills the Achilles with 1 round. And I think that was a penetrating shot. So now he's got a choice. He can either stand and face this M6, or back up and try and shoot over the walls of the riverbank. I think he can do it as he's sliding in. Nice hit right in the side. Down by the tracks, you can see he's been tracked. And here comes a Valentine anti-tank. He got him in the tracks as well for 77, but it didn't stop him at all. He's reloading though. Oh, we got him with a blind kill. And he's out the game. Now do the same again to the M6. Nice. Rounds up. Yeah, that's a hit. Tracks him. In fact, he tracked him on the other side of the vehicle. Go for it again. Yes, engine deck, 170 off that one. He's now one shot. He's gonna go. He's gonna pop. He popped. Okay, we're 4 tanks up on the enemy, and 3 of those belong to Geladen, or Geladen. I'll get it right. I'm sure he'll tell me in the future. Geladen, I'll say for the moment. Okay, he's having a look for the enemy Arty, actually. He was trying to work out where they were. I admire the fact that he did back up to try and shoot over the walls of the riverbed, which was going to be incredibly difficult. But he was never spotted, but he was felt by the enemy tanks. But they probably thought he was much further away rather than actually very close to them. And okay, one of the enemy tanks is coming in. It's the Hellcat, the M18. He's trying to get shots on him. It's difficult. He's way up in the dunes. No, that's going to miss. Hit the top of the dune. Ideally, he needs to wait for that guy to come into sight. No. You get 50 rounds of ammunition with the new PP. It used to be 42. Now it's 50. Oh, beautiful! Smacked him. Light armor on the Hellcat. He went straight through that armor and he's got his 4th kill. Now, there's only 5 enemies left. They've got an Su-85I, which as you know is the repurposed Stug, and an Su-85B, which was of course a derivation of the Su-76 actually. Well, at least I think it was a design to make an 85mm armed tank destroyer on the same sort of type as an Su-76, but it never actually got put into mass production, the Su-85B, whereas the Su-85 did. Of course, a lot of people like the Su-85B because it's actually quite good. It's an 85mm gun. You don't get many tank destroyers that got the sort of power that that thing's got. Now he's looking down this end of the battlefield because he's looking for Tracer from the enemy Arty to try and take them out. The enemy team's got a Bishop, a T-82 HMC, and the 105 leFH18B2. Oh, there's one! And he's in the open. No, I think he's a little further forward, but... yeah, he's a little further forward than you aimed there. There's another. He's in the dip. No, he's missed it altogether, but we're going to go for the Su-85I, which of course is that repurposed Stug. And he lost a few hit points there. But there's the T-82 HMC. He's actually fairly close. Again, he didn't fully dial in. Let it settle before you fire. Let it settle. That's it. Rounds out. Fairly, well, a bit more accurate. Let it settle though before you shoot. That's better. No, didn't get that one. There's the Bishop. He's moved. At least I think he's moved. Rounds out. Yes! Good one, that. So 5 kills now. 1 short of getting a Top Gun. If he can get this T-82, he fired snap. It's gone. That means now there's only 3 enemies left. This Su-85B. The Su-85. Oh, he got that one, and that was a pen shot. And he's potentially got a high caliber now. It's got 20% of the enemy hit pool. And now he's got the Top Gun. So, who else is there? There's the Su-85I, the Stug, basically. Soviet Stug. So captured Stugs that were repurposed. Rounds out. Oh, we got him! So that's 7 kills. He's 1 short of getting a Top Gun. If he can kill this Fifi, then he will get a 1 short of getting a Radleys, rather. So he needs to kill this Fifi to get his Radleys, to get his 8th kill. He's already starting to take damage from our tanks. Oh, and he gets the kill shot and a Radley Walters to end the game with a victory. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for Geladen in the 105 leFH18B2. He managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 18. He got a Gauss medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. He got a Radley Walters. That's an epic medal as well. There's 2 epic medals. He got a Radley Walters for killing at least 8 enemy vehicles, yes, as well as a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills. Excellent play. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he managed to get 2,821 hit points. He was the only player to get over 2,000. Just under 2,000. In second place was the enemy Fifi with 1,998, and the third highest scorer was the M18 on the enemy team with 1,577. When it came to kills, it was Geladen with 8 kills. 4 kills went to the enemy Fifi and their SU-85B. And when it came to base XP, he's got that one as well. In fact, he's the only player to get over 1,000 with 1,284, enough for an ace tanker. The second highest was the Kanzer Kampfwagen B Aslains B2, not Aslains, 740F. He got 919, and then 744 went to the VK3002M. He fired 35 rounds, so he still had 15 rounds spare at the end of that game. 15 direct hits on the enemy and 8 penetrations, a lot of pens. 2,821 hit points, of which 2,493 were at more than 300 meters, so a fair bit of damage at close range. Those, I think, were the M6 and the Valentine anti-tank, because they were close. He damaged 12 of the enemy, killed 8, so there was only 3 enemy tanks he didn't touch in the entire game, and he did 236 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 39,169 credits from the game, 23,502 from personal missions payout, and after ammunition resupply and only HE was used, he ended up with 77,776 credits. 1,284 XP, 3,852 from personal missions payout, and 770 for this being a premium vehicle. Took away 6,548 experience points altogether. So an absolute fabulous game to start off this 2 replay video with. Do you think he can actually better that one? Well, let's have a look. In the second replay, Geladen is on the north spawn of Serene Coast. It's always a bit disappointing in this game when, as Arty, you're sitting almost out in the front and you have to drive all the way to the back to get into cover. I mean, you're not likely to be spotted early on in the game, but it's still a bit annoying that they always sit you right out at the front. So they definitely want you to have something to do during the first few seconds of the game. Well, he's gone to the usual firing position for many Arty players. There's 3 Arty in this game on his side and on the enemy side. Oh, stuck by Aslains G. Fire snap. Hoping to wing that guy. Oh, he spotted a chappie hiding amongst the trees as well. They're all taking fire from our Arty. Loads of shots going in there. Yeah, they got spotted, but they didn't move when they were spotted, which kind of tends to make me think that they don't have sixth sense or proper sixth sense, so they weren't trying to get out of the way. Okay, it's a tier 6 battle with tier 5 tanks in it. Okay, he's got to let the aim settle before you shoot. That increases the accuracy exponentially, I would say, normally. Yeah, you see he fired a bit snap at that P43, wasn't fully dialed in, and the shell actually fell quite some distance away. That was a little bit better, but not fully dialed in. Now, let the aim settle and he should get a shot. Rounds out. No. Okay, we need to get another accurate shot. Lines it up, rounds out, and no, T3485 dodges it. Now, go for it. Yeah. Oh, got a reticule bloom. Just at the moment he fired. He was hoping that he could get the shot on target anyway. And no, still not got anything. No damage, and yet he's fired quite a few rounds already. He tries to lead the P43, but he stops. And now he's trying to get the KV1. Fires at him, but again, he's moved. He's not having much luck so far. No damage at all. And he's expended a load of ammunition. Now he's got some damage, the KV1. Yes, I think it was because really he was trying too hard to hit the enemy and wasn't letting it settle, and now he's letting it settle and he is actually getting damage, but these guys are getting way too close. In fact, now he's the next of his team to meet the enemy. Unless some of his teammates come back to help, he's going to be in real trouble. Rounds out. Oh, that hurts. T-3485M must have felt that one right in the mush. Okay, go for it. Yes, he still got him, even though he moved forward. He moved back and took the shell. Nice. Now we got one of the enemy Arty in sight, a gorilla, and the SU-122A fires snap at the gorilla and misses. Try going for the SU-122 instead. He's on the move. Bounce out. No. Let it settle. He's got to stay still in order to shoot. He's got the most terrible dispersion. Rounds out the gorilla. Oh, that's more accurate. That was probably a pen as well. So he's got his third kill now. Rounds out the SU-122A, and he doesn't let us see it, but he does kill him. And the reason he turned is because this Hellcat's coming in from a different direction. He's auto-aiming on. Now, I'd say pull back at this point, but he's trying to go forward. He's more than likely going to take a 90mm round from that Hellcat, but the Hellcat's taking a penetration shot right in the side. Now, there's only 3 enemies left. He's right close, and oh, he ram kills him and gets a kamikaze, because that's a tier 6 tank destroyer, and he just took him out with a ram. He's lost most of his hit points, but who the hell cares, because an Arty just ram killed a tank destroyer to death, and there's only 2 enemy vehicles left, and that's the Porlac tank and the M41 HMC on the enemy team. The Porlac's trying to kill the Hellcat, doing a replica. He has killed him, but rounds out the Porlac. Now just keep shoving those shells into the breach. Keep going. Keep pumping them in. Rounds out. No, didn't get anything from that. Wait for him to stay still. That's it. Oh, he keeps moving about because he knows Arty shells are on the way in. He doesn't want to get hit, and he's gone. And that means now the only remaining enemy is the M41 HMC, and I think he was fairly close because he was last seen on the peninsula. He might be coming in from this direction. There's only 1 enemy left, the M41. 3 left on our team. One of them's the Bishop, and the Bishop has found the M41. Now, we've got the possibility here. We've got 5 kills. We could end up with a top gun by killing the M41 HMC, and it would win the game. So no Radley Waters this time round, but he does get the honour of taking the last kill of the game if he can get this guy. He's locked. Yes! That's a good kill. And that wins the game. Nice. Well, that was a very good end to the game because he not only got a first-class tanker, Geladen, in the 105, but he also picked up that top gun with that last kill. He got a counter battery fire because he took out all 3 enemy Arty, the SU-122 with a blind shot actually because he moved away after he shot. And he, of course, stomped on the gorilla, took him out of the game, and then, of course, killed the M41 HMC right at the end. So counter battery fire for you. He got a kamikaze medal because he ram killed an M18 Hellcat after hitting him twice with HE rounds. He then decided to finish him off with a quick nudge, and that did the trick, as well as getting a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 8, and that top gun, as I mentioned, for killing 6 enemy vehicles. The win rate on that one was 4,397, which is more than Super Unicum standard. Didn't get the Radleys, but what the hell, that was just as good. He got some nice medals there. Let's have a look at team score. Well, the highest damage in the game actually went to that enemy T-3485M. I think that was the one that he actually did a pretty brutal hit right in the face as he was going full speed. 1,637 hit points went to him. The next highest was Geladen with 1,570, and the third highest was the Porlak tank at the end with 1,201. When it came to kills, it was Geladen. He had 6 kills in that game. 4 kills went to the Porlak tank, 3 kills went to the T-3485M. And when it came to base XP, he's got that one as well. He didn't get over 1,000 this time, but he got 921. And the second highest was the T-37 on his team with 793, and the third highest, the M10 RBFM, with 713. So in fact, he's got the highest on his team on that, but the highest of these two, so he's 2 out of 3 on this game. He got 29 shots fired in that game, 10 direct hits on the enemy and 4 penetrations. And I'm pretty certain the penetrations actually were the Arty, because of course they've got very thin armor. Yes, one of them was the M41. Yes, he penetrated the Gorilla, and yes, he did penetrate the SU-122A. No, I would have expected the Hellcat to be a pen. Yes, he did. That big hit, the first hit on the vehicle, was a pen. I think it was either that or it was the second shot that he fired in, but they definitely did a lot of damage. Go back to the detail. He also got 15 splashes on the enemy, 1,570 hit points, of which 832 were at more than 300 meters. So it was a good amount of damage. Nearly 700 hit points was actually done at, well, over 700 was actually done at close range. 1 hit received, it was a penetration. That was from the N18 Hellcat. He kind of expected that was going to happen, really. He does have a 90mm gun, or could have a 90mm gun, so he could do a hell of a lot of damage with just 1 shot. 7 enemy vehicles were damaged, 6 were killed, 22 hit points of damage assistance in the game. 40,970 credits from the battle, and after repair and ammunition resupply, took away 36,300 credits. 1,381 XP, 2764 were the mission completion, and 553 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 4,698 experience points altogether. The only thing I'm a little disappointed of is the fact that he didn't get a Starks medal as well. You would have thought the fact that he did actually get 6 kills, so he qualified for having at least 2 kills, he did take at least loss of 2/3 of his hit points, or nearly 2/3 of his hit points. The only thing he missed out on was he didn't get another hit. If the M18 had fired 1 more round, he probably would have killed Geladen. So yes, missed out on the Starks medal by just 1 hit on his body. Even if it had been a non-penetration, he still would have qualified for the Starks medal. So he went for all that trouble. You can just see how difficult it is to get a Starks medal, even when you've taken a huge amount of damage and you've done equal damage to the enemy. So well done, Geladen. Great game. 2 great games in a row, actually, to get the Radleys on the first one and then get a Top Gun with a selection of medals on the other. Nice. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and he does get hungry around this time. And thank you for watching.